The main thing to remember, excuse me, is that this isn't magic, unfortunately. It is about your handling skills. So you have to be the ones, I'm going to demonstrate. See, if you do nothing, your dogs are not just going to all of a sudden heal and be good dogs. Okay, this is what they're going to do. They're going to take the lead because they want to. But get them squared back up, hold my leashes properly, and get them into a heel by telling them every time they get to a point that they're doing what I don't want them to do, by giving them that little pop. That's what's controlling this heel. So again, it's like reins on a horse, you know? So, cold, rainy morning. So, making sure that every time they get to this point of past my knee, you're giving them both a pop. Now, when you're holding both leashes, like I told you, it is more challenging. So, if you are more comfortable in the beginning working with one dog at a time while you get a little more comfortable with each one's behaviors and what sets them off and everything, and that's fine. But otherwise, you just got to figure out how you hold it best. Think of it like being like a marionette puppet. See, I can control Moose's with this finger, and I can control Olive's with this finger, right? So it's kind of tricky in the beginning. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we get this nice tandem heel so they really understand where the boundary is, so that I can do that more complicated part for you. See, Olive needed a pop there, but Moose didn't. Olive, right? Olives, but not Moose's. Good boy, Moose's. This is great. Now, if we were to come up on somebody, it's really early, it's like 7 a.m. So my neighborhood's sleeping. But if we were to come up on another dog or something, I would probably put them both into a sit position, calm them down, make sure that they are focused on me rather than the other dog, because we need to stop behaviors before they progress. So we don't want them to react to the dog and then us have to calm them down. We want them to not react to the dog in the beginning. So you have to be the one that's proactive. Good girl. Yep. You have to be the one that's proactive about telling them what you want and what you expect. They're going to follow your rules and your directions if you give them. But a lot of times people just kind of expect their dog to come home and magically just start walking nicely without having to give any kind of direction in the matter. But it's just not going to happen. So, come here, guys. That's why I love these videos, though, so that you can go back, reference back to them. Come on, Mom. Come on, Olive. Good girl. You do good girl. Honestly, think Olive does best on the outside and Moose on the inside, because Olive tends to, at least right now, she tends to want to zigzag and go behind me, and that's a big no-no on me. No going behind me. Even when we're outside just going for a potty walk and the dog goes this way and tries to zoom behind me to go over on this side, no. Because what's going to happen is the leash is going to get stuck behind my legs, and then I'm going to have to switch hands or untangle myself, and that's them taking the lead in the situation. So even when we're out doing free time, them still having directions to follow. She sees my cat up the street. There he is. Way out there. But this is good. So already, Olive is a lot more distracted by things than Moose is, honestly. Olive. Good boy, Moose. Olive, sit. Good girl, sit. Olive. See, Olive's definitely going to need some work. You can tell Moose has been doing this for a little bit. See how Moose, that's where your misplaced aggression is coming from. Because Moose is trying to get her to pay attention. She's not paying attention. And then he's getting frustrated because he's listening and she's not. So, I know you're going to hate to hear this, But Olive is the one that needs more training than Moose. So I'm definitely going to be working with her a lot over the next week, taking her on singular walks, and obviously taking them both together on walks. But Moose has had a really good head start on a couple of weeks of working with me, and Olive hasn't. So she doesn't quite know what my rules are yet. So in all fairness, she just needs a little bit more work right now. But I don't foresee any issues. This is a nice walk, but it's going to be a lot more challenging with two dogs. It's just, if one dog is hard, two dogs is even harder. So they're going to play off of each other. If one of them gets excited, the other one's going to get excited. If one gets to break the heel, the other one's going to try and break the heel. So it's really important that you are a strong handler for them, so that you have these nice, calm, happy dogs that follow your lead and are really, just responsive, because you're the one that gives them, rules to follow. If they don't have any rules to follow and then they just get in trouble for doing things wrong, it's going to become, how come I got in trouble for that this time but not last time? Oh, God. But this is looking great. This is a nice heel, Olive heel. Good girl. Alright, so I think this is probably going to be your best bet. Moose on the inside, Olive on the outside. She doesn't go to trying to zigzag quite as much, because she's basically got a wall. See how she's trying to get ahead, and then Moose tries to get ahead? So I'm going to turn now, because pops with two dogs is a lot more difficult. You have to know how to work your leashes. As you can see, it's kind of weird. So you have to know how to work two leashes, and it can be tricky. So turns are probably going to be your easier thing than just trying to do singular pops on one dog. Now, if you have to pop both dogs, that's easy. You can just grab both of them and just do the same thing, right? But if you only have to pop one dog, see, like I only had to pop Olive right there. I use like my pinky to just apply pressure to her, but I didn't apply pressure to his. Now that was both of them. Both of them. Just Moose. Olive a little bit, but Moose. Right, so pops are just to say pay attention. Now, if they're already ahead of you, a pop isn't the best thing to do. If they're already ahead of you, a turn is better. If they're almost about to break the box and they're just not quite paying attention, you can tell them, pay attention, right? But if they're already up here, that's not going to stop them. They're gone, right? They're doing their own thing. They see my cat again. Right? So a turn is going to be a lot more effective. Come on, Olive. Come on, OliveOyl. Good girl. Right? So you can see how distracted she is. Moose is kind of just like, whatever. But this is where Moose's whining is going to come into play, because Olive is so distracted. Come on, Olive. I mean, this is just one cat walking down the road. So she's, see, this is the first I've heard of Moose's whining just out on a walk. And that's because he's so frustrated that Olive is just doing whatever the hell she wants, basically, right? So now he sees the cat and he's like, oh, she's whining. She's not paying attention. I'm not paying attention. It's at the Breakfast Club, right? Oh, yeah, anarchy. Right? Come on, that's it. Olive, Moose. Good boy, Moose. Olive, sit. Nope, Moose, sit. Moose. Right, so he tried to go over to my cat. I gave him a pop and pulled him back towards me. I went like this, and then I released that pressure. My cat's the worst. He literally is taunting them. He's such a jerk. He's like, look, I can be annoying. I can be a distraction in the video every time. That's okay, because that's life, right? This is what actually happens in life, and this is what you want me to practice with your dogs. Yo. So for one, okay, I'm going to release Olive and let her just go see my cat. I don't think she's had a chance to really just meet him yet. See, look, he went behind me, and look, now I'm all tangled up. So I put him back on the right side. I'm not switching my hand. I'm just giving him a second to kind of explore. Oh, olive oil, you got leaves on your booty. There you go. Pretty fall butt. Decorating for fall. Okay, come on, guys. It's you. Come on, Olive. Okay, so again, she tries to crisscross behind me to take the lead again. So I'm gonna go back to this. See, I'm using pops to slow them down right before they pass me to tell them, don't go there. All right, did it again. So I'm using pops right now, and this is because they haven't learned tandem healing yet, and they play off of each other a lot. Every dog does, not just them. Yeah? Moose. So right there, he went to go look at something, and before he got too distracted by it, I got his attention back. So that I didn't have to calm down a super distracted dog once he is really focused on whatever that was. I just have to get him back when he's like, what was that? Yeah. And turn. Good job, Moosimo. Come on, Olive. Good girl. Right? So if you can't make a clean left turn, they weren't healing. Right? That's a clear indicator that they're not healing. And that bump where they look at me and they're like, what? That's a good thing. That's me taking the lead back. If you don't want dogs that lead, you have to be the leader. They're not just going to naturally fall back. But if they know where your box is, because we've done this work to teach them, you don't pass here. And if you do, there's a correction. See how much nicer those turns are now? Because I have their attention. Moose. Moose, come on, buddy. Good boy. Yep, good. Yeah, so there you have it. We are going to do a few more minutes, and then we're going to go inside and have some breakfast. So we'll be back later on with some more lessons. Ready? Let's do one more sit. Moose, Olive, sit. Moose and Olive, come on. Good boy, Moose. Olive, sit. Good. Okay. There you go.